Okay, so we got to know each other, we signed an agency agreement, we went through a tour, and we looked at a bunch of houses, and we finally found the one that's perfect. On to closing, right? No, there's a bunch of stuff that we have to do now to make sure that all the things that we couldn't examine during our 30-minute walkthrough are checked over. And then, of course, the bank's got to do their important part. They're going to have pre-approved you, but they still need to approve the house, right? So through that contract process, it's not just off to closing. We've got all sorts of stuff to do. All of it can be negotiation points, but this is not the point where we continue negotiation. So what I mean by that is we're going to have negotiated the contract on the purchase. And say that we negotiated a contract purchase that included an inspection period. Then we will have negotiated making sure that they know that we plan to inspect the home for safety and health and anything else that we want to inspect it for, and that we will ask them at the end of that inspection time period if we find anything we didn't know about. We'll ask them to fix it possibly. We'll ask them to maybe renegotiate. We'll discuss it, right? So again, there's inspection, there's appraisal, there's all of the due diligence timelines for consumers to be doing on their own that I can guide you in the right directions, but I won't know what's important to you until you tell me that she's a ballerina and we've got to be within 30 minutes of this place or whatever the case is, right? So those are all things that you should inspect before we even write the contract, but there's going to be timeline protections once we get under contract that you cannot walk away for just any reason, of course. You can only walk away for protections within the contract. So I like to tell people that if the contract's 11 pages, the first 2 or 3 pages are going to be your agreement with the seller, for example, and then the rest of the pages are going to be protections for you and the seller, and mainly for you so that you can back away if you need to, if there's a problem. So again, examining the contract's not what I came to do with this conversation, but explaining all the different things that go into the title work and the lender work and the final documentations and all the steps in between, and negotiating inspection and how those things work. Those are all things that you and I need to sit down in more than a 5-minute video clip, talk about, let me walk through this process and help you with these steps so that you can understand them and be prepared for them when the time comes, and we can negotiate like professionals and get you a great deal on a happy, healthy home. So that's step 6. And then remember, while you're doing all of that, you're also going to be doing all these other things like preparing to move. Don't ask me for a lot of help on that, although I do kind of help some people sometimes. Anyway, next step, clear to close.